Hey guys, welcome back to Geared Forwards. My name's Paul, and today we're talking about this little guy. This is, I guess, the closest thing I have to an EDC pocket kit that I regularly use, that I don't really swap the contents of that frequently. So we'll be going through this, some of the changes I made from how this pouch comes, where you can get this pouch, and just the thinking behind why I have in it what I have. So let's start off first of all giving you a sense of size. Here it is next to a Leatherman Bond and a 91mm Victorinox Spartan. So this is actually quite a nice, show you the thickness there, it does kind of bulge out at the back here for reasons you will see. This is quite a nice size, in my opinion, for an EDC kit. I find that in pretty much all pants pockets, granted I am talking about male pants pockets, I am sorry for any female EDCers, this is always fitting. I've never really had any trouble, be it in various types of shorts, jeans, sweatpants, that kind of thing. Never had any problem with this fitting comfortably and not sliding out. So I think this is really a good size, and whilst you can 100% go larger than this for pouches, particularly if you're using cargo pants, I think something roughly this kind of silhouette is the perfect size for EDC. Now, in terms of the pouch itself, it is somewhat similar in format to, I guess, the Chum's Surf Wallet. You have this flap at the front where you can store some things, and then you have a pouch here which is actually internally divided, and you have just a large pouch at the back. So let's start off with the pouch itself. I got this from Amazon. It's just a cheap Chinese special. I believe at the time it cost about £4.80, £5.80, something like that. So I think it's gone up in price now. I think it's now about £8 something. To be honest, the quality of this is actually really nice. I've never had any issues with loose threads or anything like that. I've been using this for several months now at least. I've had no problems with it. I did, however, do some modifications to it to make it more suitable for myself. First of all, being like the Chum Surf Short Wallet, it did have a key keeper, basically. It had a piece of webbing sewn in here with a quite large split ring on it to put your keys on. I wasn't going to use that. This is not how I carry keys, especially since I have a car key that isn't really conducive to that. And seeing as it does have this loop on the top here, if you wanted to attach something like a key, I didn't see any point to it. At first I just took off the split ring, however the webbing was decently thick, it was folded over, and it was actually cutting into how much I could comfortably fit in here. It made it a little bit more awkward to get stuff out of this front pouch, this front pocket, as things would get snagged on the underside of the webbing. It was adding a non-trivial thickness so that the pouch was getting fat and kind of bulky in a weird way, no matter what you put in it, really, because you're just losing thickness for no reason. So how I fixed that was I basically just took the awl from a 93mm A-Lox of Simon knife, this one in particular actually, and I just used it to unpick the stitching and just take that webbing out entirely. The other thing I did was, you can see that these zipper pulls paracord, they came with the normal metal zipper pulls that you might be familiar with on bags, coats, that kind of thing. They were huge. They were wide, they were long, they jingled an obscene amount, which really annoyed me. And they were just impractically large. If they were smaller, then I might have left them on. But given that they were both large and very noisy, they had to go. So all I did there was You see that I just spread the zipper itself open a little bit using some pliers, slipped them off, and then replaced it with some gutted paracord. That's just been fed through there, tied in an overhand knot, and then just melted the end so it stays put. Personally, I really like this. It's a much quieter, much more lightweight way to replace the zippers, and green is my favorite color, you know, if you couldn't tell, and I just really like the kind of accents that this gives, and it makes it feel much more like my kind of thing. But we're 5 minutes in, 6 minutes basically, and I've not actually shown you what's inside of it, so let's also not do that right now and take a quick look at how much this weighs loaded up. So that's 5.24 ounces for our friends across the pond. And in grams, about 148 grams. Again, in the pocket, this is quite reasonable. I don't think this is heavy. However, I am not a minimalist. So starting with the outside, we have a Olight O-Pen Mini. I'll try and give you, let's see, we can throw I'll try and give you some quick size comparison for the stuff that's actually coming out of the pouch, so you have a bit of a reference for what it is. This is just a really handy little pen. It is a bolt action, so it is fidgetable if you find yourself, you know, in a meeting or just basically looking to fidget whilst you're waiting for the bus or whatnot. However, it is still long enough to be comfortable in writing down quick notes. Other than that, we have an Olight i2R Pro Anniversary Edition in titanium, with a Polymath Products glow tab on there just to make it a little easier to pull out, and as this hangs out of the pouch, it also makes it a little bit easier to identify. Just a really simple EDC light, you know, 15 lumens and I believe 5 lumens and 180 lumens. Titanium feels really nice. You know, it's EDC, it is EDCable, but it is USB-C charging, which is quite nice. IPX8. And this is just a nice little light to carry. So the general principle behind this pouch is this is not all I carry. I carry EDC outside of this. I will carry another flashlight, I'll carry another multi-tool, another light. This is all supplementary and redundancy. However, it could be the only thing I carry. I could grab this and have all of my bases covered. And that's really what, you know, something like this is about. I do pull this out of my pocket sometimes as a preference rather than getting a larger light, but it's just really nice just to have that basics covered. And here is our standard size comparison. And you can fit more in there. You can definitely use that front pouch for other things. I will say that this is particularly quite fat for the amount of light you get, and the pouch does become a little bit less bulky if you were to use something like I don't know, a Rovivon Aurora A8X or whatever, or particularly like a Nightcore tube would make it a lot thinner. Moving on into the main compartment with the EDC goodies. First of all, we have, you know, a dedicated knife. I do like some redundancy, and this is so thin and so light that it doesn't really cost anything. This is intended to be an insert for you know, the key smarts, things like that. It's made by Klecker Tools. It's a little locking thing here, so depending on where I'm going, I may take this out for UK legal reasons. However, it's quite a, as I drop an open blade, quite a sturdy little knife. You get a decent amount of length there. The lock does actually hold up quite well, and it just gives you another edge. You can never have too many EDC tools. That is the thing I tell myself to keep justifying buying things. It is next to our size comparison. Next up is a Victorinox Minichamp. Probably one of my favorite models from Victorinox. I do really like the tool set. It's really densely packed, and even some tools that you might find a bit redundant or useless, like the Coke spoon, I mean cuticle pusher. You can actually use this for a scraping, prying tool, or it has addressed some large flathead needs for me previously. Again, in the redundancy area, this does obviously have a pen, and just disclaimer, I did swap out the normal Victorinox tweezers for Leatherman tweezers, and that's just because I tend to prefer them a little bit more, because I prefer a slanted tweezer to the normal flat Victorinox variety. And just so you know, the Leatherman tweezers, this came out of a Leatherman the little skeletal. But the same kind of scissors is also present on the Leatherman 3T series. My 3T4 has the exact same. And that's just a nice set of tools altogether. You have some scissors, ball opener, the small magnetic Phillips. You got another couple of knife options, and you have some options between the scissors, nail file, or nail cleaner for some nail cap. A really dense tool that I think adds a lot of value to this kit. And if you need a size comparison, 58 versus 91 millimeters, pop that there. Next up is a mini bic. Fire is useful. And this, as you can see, has been wrapped in some goods. So this is a hemp wick that is infused with beeswax. And you can use this to help start a fire or to help elongate the fuel. So you would unravel this, light the wick, and then use the wick to light something else. We have the inner strand from some paracord, just sandwiched there. And we actually have what is half width duct tape, essentially. All I did there was I took a normal width roll of duct tape, I made a tear in it, and then I just went around. And that gives you quite a lot of, a little bit of cordage, but actually a decent amount of tape available if you need it. Duct tape does also act as a fire starter should you need it. However, my intent with that was primarily just to have some duct tape on hand. I'm quite a fan of that in other kits, so in bags I tend to have duct tape wrapped around an old credit card, a gift card, that kind of thing. So just a really helpful little thing. And since Bic lighters, in my opinion, in the UK not super common, you get some random miscellaneous no-name brands instead. Here is a size comparison with the Spartan. The only other thing in this pocket is a folded up piece of stone paper, which is waterproof. This gives you the ability to just jot down some quick notes and not have to worry about it being in the rain, spilling something. I like the idea of just putting some individual pieces of paper like this in a kit like this, just because it gives you that utility without having to carry an entire notepad around with you. So that is the main EDC kind of central area. So you can see here that it is divided. There's a little flap there, and you could fit a lot more in here. Whereas the front flap, when it's loaded up how I have it, it's pretty full. You could actually comfortably put a lot more in here. So I'll show you that. So you do actually have quite a bit more there. The Minichamp is really setting the thickness there, so you can cram some stuff in front of like the Klecker, for instance. And if you really want to, you could put some more stuff in there with the paper. But those are just the little EDC tools. And finally, we have the back. And the back is primarily just a little bit of a boo-boo kit. So straight off the bat, we're going to have some liquid tab ibuprofens. These are Nurofen brand. I'm a big fan of carrying some over-the-counter medications, And a easy and simple way to do that is to just take some scissors and just cut out the dosages you want. Let's see, let's just get all of this out here. So let's give you a look inside there. This is just one large, relatively opening, no dividers. So first off, we have a glasses wipe, Uvex brand. These are made for safety glasses. However, they do a great job at cleaning my seeing eye glasses, as well as phone screens, game console screens, tablet screens, that kind of thing. We have an assortment of, let's flip this over so you can actually see the sizes, an assortment of different plaster or band-aid sizes, as well as a sterilization wipe to clean a cut. Again, this is a boo-boo kit. This is not intended to be a trauma kit or even a first aid kit. This is, I got a paper cut, I have a blister, I have a bit of a headache. This is just to address the little cuts and scrapes you get in your day-to-day life, not handle an emergency. And it does that really well. All this stuff packs up and doesn't really consume much space in the back of this pouch. You could fit more in there if you wanted. I wouldn't carry, or at the very least, I would be very careful carrying something like burn gel or anything that comes in a sachet, because as your pocket gets compressed, as you're pushing in the other side of the pouch to get stuff, you're squeezing that, and you do run the risk of popping open the sachet and getting the contents all over your other stuff. I wouldn't personally do it, but it is something that you can do. So that has been my little EDC pocket kit. I've been carrying this, like I said, for about several months. Initially, I went through some iterations, some changes with what I was carrying in it. At the moment, I'm pretty happy with the loadout involved. I might change the light, or I might change, or add something in this aspect. At some point, I would like to upgrade the boo-boo kit items to some more high-quality medical items, such as you might see in the mini medi kit from the Urban Prepper. Highly recommend checking out that if you haven't seen it. But I'm very, very satisfied with this kit. I'll try and link stuff down in the description below if you're interested in any of these things. They are not, at the time of recording this video, going to be affiliate links. That may change in the future. But I hope that you found this helpful and informative for building your own kit, or inspiring you to carry a kit like this. Like I said, it doesn't really take up much space in the pocket at all, doesn't really encumber things compared to some EDC loadouts. So I highly recommend building something like this for yourself. Just to address those that might suggest in the comments, why don't I carry some cables or a power bank? That's outside of the scope of what I personally consider this is for. When I carry a power bank or something like that, I carry it in a different way. But until next time, I've been Paul. I hope that this has been informative for you. If you like this content, hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you're new here, and hit that notification bell. And I'll see you in the next video.